Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5 a.m. Club. What a beautiful, still morning we have here at Sydney town. I can see the breeze coming in from the south. It's only very, very light. It's a little bit overcast, but these overcast conditions are just beautiful because they allow the yellow and the green of the lovely ferries here just contrast on the water and on the sky as well. And also they provide a beautiful contrast background to the Opera House, where that jet black just stands out, just absolutely magnificent. Anyway, it's still fairly dark because it's still fairly early, but what I'd like to do is take you through a book summary as we normally do on Jim's 5 a.m. Club. And today's book is entitled Humour, Seriously by Jennifer Aaker. And it's a book, as you could well imagine, about bringing fun back into our lives, bringing fun back into our work lives, our home lives, our relationships, because life has become far too serious. I remember many years ago, my late grandmother, Kasiani, we were chatting one day, and she was saying, "Jimmy, do you know what's wrong with the world?" She said. She says that fun, laughter has become far too expensive. You hardly hear it anymore, was her comment and her observation. And she would say that in the early days, or when she was young, people would laugh, people would engage each other, would tease each other in a nice way to bring out some humour and to enjoy the moment, that shared moment with friends and family and work colleagues. The author kicks off the book with an observation himself, where he says that fear is the greatest killer of creativity. So each and every one of us need to look into our own lives and try and figure out whether or not we are the creators or the instigators of fear that may impede other people's creativity or other people's enjoyment. Because at the end of the day, we're social beings and we're inextricably intertwined with other people in our social environments, in our social orbits, in our networks. So the question is, are you a source of fear within that environment, or are you a source of humour and joy that enables people to express their funny self and look forward to coming to work and engaging with you and the team throughout the week? So the call to action from this author, of course, is to let's bring fun back into our lives. And there is a realisation, it's a sad realisation, that we live in a world where most people dread Mondays. Mondays, for many people, is the worst day of the week, and it doesn't have to be. And we have a thing called "thank God it's Friday" syndrome. Like, today is Friday, and it's the day of the week that most people look forward to and look up to. But isn't it a waste to spend your life looking forward to Friday, and come Sunday evening, you're dreading Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Because at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're wasting 4/7, more than half of your life in work or doing things that you don't enjoy, because you're not finding it fun. You're not finding it something that you can enjoy.
The next train to arrive.
So the author then calls on the leaders, the managers, the parents, the grandparents, anybody who leads a particular team, to look at themselves and understand that they are responsible. They have a duty to foster an environment which is constructive, productive, and will facilitate learning, joy, and enjoyment. Because the leaders of the team are the ones who manage the culture of the group. And if you're too serious, and if life is, just work, it won't be as productive as what it can be if you're able to engage and to bring some fun into the team. I had an example in my work career where I went from working in a top tier recruitment company where it was chit chatter, fun, and a very, very positive environment day in, day out, to working in a top tier law firm, which was very, very serious. And it was just a chalk and cheese sort of experience for me. I actually, I just couldn't believe the difference, because I'd spent 25 years in the IT industry, which was leading edge in terms of training and engagement. Yes, it was serious, but it was also a lot of fun, and you could get around and chat and feel as if you belonged and you were part of something. But not all environments, not all work environments are like that, and I learnt it the hard way. So getting back to the message here from this author here, the author here says that it's important for leadership to understand that they can actually bias, they can poison their work environment through authority, bias, closed-mindedness, and being results oriented only. There needs to be a balance, is the bottom line. So the first formal point to come out of this book is we need to become, each and every one of us need to become the fun version of yourself, and to choose a humour type that best expresses your style, your personality, who you are. And because people are funny, according to this author, in their own ways. So you need to express your own self as best you can. So the author then tells us that there are 4 types of humour. There's the stand-up, there's the magnet, there's the sweetheart, and there's the sniper. The stand-up humour or humorist is a sort of person who depends on things such as dark humour, roasts, picks on people in a nice way. You can pick on people in a mean way, or you can pick on people in a nice way. So that's the dark humorist style that one can adapt and adopt. The magnet style is the person who is positive, is happy. He jokes and makes fun in a way which is well received, and they're fun to be around. They spread positivity and they get people to laugh, and that's the magnet style of humour. We've got the sweethearts, who are just the innocent type, who use their innocence to bring laughter and joy and fun to an environment, and they never offend. And we have the sniper, the one who has the dry humour, who's sarcastic and aggressive in their own little way, and they're the best with their punchlines and their one-liners. So they're the 4 types that people can grow into, so to speak. Just let me check the board here to see when my train is coming next. Yep, I've got another train after this one here, so I can keep on talking. So the other thing that the author talks about in terms of the art of humour, and he says that humour isn't easy. Being a comic, being a joker isn't easy. And we've learnt over the past few years with cancel culture that if you say the wrong joke, you can be attacked and and put in your place. So we need to be careful, which is a bit sad because I guess at the end of the day we need to be able to have free speech, but according to the author, we also need to be careful. But in terms of the formula to help keep you out of trouble, he says that people relate most to the truth. So sticking to the truth when joking is something that can work for you. The best humour, according to the author, is based on truth. And truth always makes a great subject for joking and bringing humour into an environment, because with truth people relate to it and appreciate it, is what the author is saying. So something to consider, something to mull over, and by absorbing and including the truth into your joking style or your humour style or your work environment style, you're able to create beautiful shared moments. Because when it's all said and done, life is all about those shared moments. You can live as an individual, you can live as a recluse, you can live as a professional doing your job, hidden away in your office. But the bottom line is, at the end of your career, the things that you're going to remember most are those shared moments with your peers. I remember when I was working at IBM and they had a huge redundancy back in the 90s when IBM hit a brick wall financially, and about a third of the organisation were asked to consider voluntary redundancy, in which a third of them took it up, should I say. And I remember on the last day, speaking to people who had been with the organisation 25, 30, 35 years, and they said that the most important thing in your work life are the people you meet and those shared moments that you experience. So don't underestimate the importance of joy, fun in a work environment, because they're the things that you're going to take away, and they're the things that are going to be most cherished. And they create the closest bonds and the closer bonds, enabling you to work better with the people around you by knowing them better and them knowing you better and them knowing your funny side as opposed to your shitty side or your serious side. The author also says that another thing that may work in some environments is where you share distress when you're in a stressful situation, and you're able to verbalize it and bring it to the topic and bring it to the front of mind, so to speak. So the author then gives us some tips on how to make things funnier, and he says that in our humour toolkit we should include exaggeration and analogies and the rule of three. So we need to try and exaggerate things by learning how to escalate things in our storytelling, because taking people by surprise is something which is very, very important in humour. The ability to surprise. So along the way we need to colour, we need to detail, we need to add smell, sound, and build the mental image, and using analogies to compare as a ridiculous example is also something that works. But it's about building up, it's about escalating your storytelling in order to catch people by surprise. The rule of three is where the author talks about this surprise element and how it works. So let me just pop onto the train before I finish my book summary. But the author talks about the rule of three, and he says that because we people love using or love having patterns in our lives, using a particular pattern for comedy, for joking, for storytelling is really important as well, because he says that our brains are used to patterns, and it's great to be able to break that pattern and surprise the person you're telling a joke to, because it creates a greater impact and a punchline, and it's better remembered and better passed on. So he says that because of the rule of three, we need to follow a particular formula, and comedians usually follow this formula where you say two things that are expected and follow up with one thing that is unexpected. And it's this rule of three, this two that are expected that the brain can follow and attach to, and then you break the pattern with the unexpected punchline, which could be an exaggeration or could be an analogy or something to make it memorable and bring it to a climax. So thank you very much for joining me on this Friday, the last day of the office work week, and we've had the opportunity to go through and do yet another book summary. I'm getting close to 1,200 vlogs in English, and today's book summary was entitled Humour, seriously, by Jennifer Aaker, where we learnt the importance of including and incorporating humour and joy in our work environments, our work lives, as well as our family lives and everything else that we touch, all the other people that we touch, because we can be a catalyst for change, a catalyst for improvement, to help make our world much better, much more engaging, much more comforting for people around us, because everybody needs a positive touch and a bit of a laugh, so to speak. So the call to action for each and every one of us is, where possible, to bring forward our funny, our happy, our positive selves, and reap the benefits, the fruits of the difference that we're able to make, not only to ourselves, but to also all of those people that we work with and engage, as I said before. I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message of empowerment, where we can continue our journey and be partners in each other's growth and development, where we can live, learn and pass it on, and we can incorporate, we can apply the knowledge that we get from OPE, other people's experiences, through the many book summaries that we have available to us, and the many book summaries that I'm able to bring to you with Jim's 5am Club. Anyway, thank you very much, and I truly enjoy this time of the day, which is for me one of the most productive times of my life, where I can share a journey for people to be able to vicariously join me on this trip to greater knowledge, so that we can compare and contrast these slithers, various slithers of reality that we each have, to enhance our worldview and become better placed to dealing with the unstructured and the challenges that each and every one of us are going to face each day, including today. Take care, everybody. Yasas Vilaka from Jim's 5am Club, and we'll chat again. Bye for now.